Good afternoon and welcome to the Story of Your Dinner reveal of the campaign for 2017. This is Shelley Feist with the Partnership for Food Safety Education. We are very glad to have you all with us. It's always extremely rewarding to know that we are working as a team to come up with new creative ways to engage consumers on food safety. And I hope you'll enjoy what we have to show you today. There's a lot to show you, so let's get started. This campaign, The Story of Your Dinner, is very importantly financially supported through contributions from these sponsors: Cargill, Costco Wholesale, and the Frozen Food Foundation. So they help make possible the great stuff you'll see that we've developed through the campaign today. We have an ambitious goal for the Story of Your Dinner, and that is to earn 100 million consumer impressions. And I think we can do that with your help. As you know, the holidays are an important time for talking about food safety, home food safety. A lot of people are in the kitchen who aren't normally. So it's a great opportunity and a great time to engage consumers on this topic. So here are some basics for your enjoyment of the webinar today. We would always like to hear from you. So have your questions and comments ready. We want to hear from you. We also love hearing, what do you plan to do for the holidays on consumer food safety education? So tell us that. You'll find the question function on the bar on your right, and at any time, if you want to send a question, when we get to questions at the end, we will go through those and some of your comments. Please have your sound on. We will be playing a short video during the webinar, so that way you'll hear the sound. And at the end of the webinar, we have a survey that will pop up as soon as we close the webinar. Please help us by taking that survey. It is a way we really gather feedback so we can improve what we are doing for you. I've had a question already saying the handout count is 3. Yes, there are 3 handouts. You'll find those attached. We are not offering CEUs for this webinar. We are offering you just a whole bunch of great new stuff that you can use in your consumer education. And one of the handouts is a PDF of this slide deck. I want to recognize we did an early registration contest, and some of you may have entered, that our winner of the early registrant drawing was Deb McLean of Somerville, Massachusetts. She won a package of 50 Story of Your Dinner placemats, 11 by 17, which we shipped to her, and I'm sure she's going to use them, and we're so happy that she won. So I am your moderator and mostly presenter today. My name is Shelley Feist. I'm Executive Director of the Partnership for Food Safety Education, and I guess developer of a lot of the programming and events we do for backfighters. And we're happy to have with us today also Eric Davis. Eric is Senior Vice President with FLM Harvest. They are the creative brains behind this campaign. Hi, Eric.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Thank you for being with us today. This is a real team effort, I can tell you, and it gets pretty intense to get all this content and planning done. We started a year ago, probably, and so today is a culmination of a lot of work. Eric, we're going to get you in a second. We're going to start with a poll because I like polls, and they're a lot of fun. I'm going to launch this first poll, which is, do you plan to do consumer food safety education this holiday season? Please vote, and then we'll show you guys the results, and we'll know how many people are have this in their plans to connect with consumers on food safety this holiday season. All right, we got to get, I always like to get up to 80% at least voting, so we need another 5% here of you to vote.
80% is a pretty high turnout.
Yeah, well, 100% on here, so, okay. A few more voters. Well, this is interesting because a lot of people are planning to do consumer education. All right. I'll share this with you. We've got 67% of you say you're going to be doing consumer outreach.
That's great.
And 6% aren't yet sure. So if you're not yet sure, hopefully you'll see this great stuff and go, oh, yeah, this will be easy. I can do it now. Thank you for taking the poll. All right. Oh, all right. Eric, thank you again for being here with us. I wanted people to hear from you because so much, again, of the creative and the energy and the framework behind the campaign was developed by Harvest. So take it away.
Thank you, Shelley, and thank you, everyone, for your time and attention today. I think before we go into anything, we have to always step back and ask the why. Why are we here? Why does Story of Your Dinner exist? And this exists as a campaign now in its second year. And really, at the end of the day, it's about increasing awareness among home cooks, and that's obviously a wide array of people. Home cooks about their role in the chain of prevention of foodborne illness, and the simple everyday actions that they can take to prevent foodborne illness. And obviously, we know the data, 1 in 6, there's a higher concentration of cooking at home during this time of year. And so what we really want to do is interact with them at this important time when they are thinking about cooking, when they are thinking about family, when they are thinking about doing the right things, and bring these materials to them at such an important time. And I did note that obviously our audience is home cooks, but we also want to drill down a little bit. We can go to the next slide there and take a look at who our target audience is. And hopefully this aligns with you, but bear in mind, most of our content is for any consumer of any age, actually, when you think about it. But at the end of the day, it's families, caretakers of households with 1 or more children under the age of 5. That's we always want to kind of slice it down very, get some narrow channels of people that we're focusing on. Americans over the age of 70 who live alone or shop for themselves, and also caretakers of older adults too. So it's a wide array of people here, but we've created materials with them in mind, although bearing in mind that these materials can be used or consumed by virtually anybody. So again, our goal is to empower home cooks. Our objective is to empower home cooks, and with both information, and so we're providing lots of information here for them. And I think too, one thing that we've kind of layered in this year is inspiration, to really inspire them to cook at home for the holidays and to try new things, but keeping food safety in mind. Because as Shelley likes to say, nobody has time to get sick during the holidays. So we want to keep food safety top of mind among cooks using the Story of Your Dinner tips, prep steps, core 4, and inspiration for holiday cooking. And one thing that we kept in mind throughout this whole thing, and I think it's another thing I think that's a little bit different for this year, is that our audience, especially those family leaders of the family household with kids 5 or younger, they're very busy. Everyone's busy, and they're very distracted. Everyone's distracted. So we want to create things for them that they can digest very quickly, that they can pass along very easily, but also similarly, they turn to influencers and peers as much as they turn to media for news and information. And so that's why we wanted to create something not just that we would be sharing, but that other people can share as well. So we go to the next slide, and that sharing is really is a key thing here. And that's why we created materials, as we noted, we created materials, the intent was to be easy to share, easy to consume. And so that's why we have, and these are items that you will have too, a strategic content calendar for social media with simple tips and info around winter holiday milestones. So we have a calendar that takes through really November 1st to the lead up to Thanksgiving, to the immediate days after Thanksgiving, to holiday party season, to the Christmas time holidays, and post-Christmas time holidays. So we have a calendar that follows us along that way. We'll be promoting that with organic posts and promoted posts to connect with consumers. We'll also be doing these fun engagement activities, Twitter parties, Facebook Live events. Again, capturing people in the moment, gathering them around to talk. We also rely heavily on other influencers this year too, with food bloggers, and we've created videos of some of their recipes this year, 1 minute or less. We've got our recipes down to 1 minute or less in terms of inspiring people, because we know that people are very busy and they don't often have time to consume all the information. In addition to all the social media work, we're working with newspapers, placing articles in local regional newspaper food sections, whether it's online or print, about safe holiday meal prep. We're doing radio call-ins all through November and December, and downloadable tools, including consumer tip sheets and placemats for the kids that we'll be pushing out on social media as well. So coming at it from all different angles, but using multiple communications channels, but really trying to be fast with it, trying to be visual with it, and trying to be inspiring with it. And so your role is so important, and we've created these materials with you in mind. We're hoping that you, when the time is right and appropriate, to connect with consumers directly about their important role in the food safety chain of prevention, to leverage the materials that we've created that we hope you'll enjoy today, and share with them. We'll have downloadable items that you can use, you can find on our website. I know there's attachments here today, handouts, social media posts, videos. So hoping that you can please use those to help inspire even more consumers, because it is all about influencing, and you are the influencers. But then also, secondly, help us get better, because we want this to be a perennial campaign. So if you could use and submit the evaluation forms and let us know how these materials work for you, so we can improve upon them next year and the years to come.
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate your being here, and I really appreciate the incredible relationship we've had with Harvest, and the evolution of this whole idea from how do we talk about the food safety chain of prevention and find a new framework for talking to consumers, rather than just trying to tell them what to do, help them understand what's behind protecting food and how important their role is. I think I'm one slide ahead here. So this is Shelley, and I'm going to talk about this amazing bunch of tools and events we have planned. It's a lot. It's very exciting. It's visual. So this is an important time for you to just take a look at what we have and then start factoring it into your planning. What makes the most sense for you to use? This is the way the Story of Your Dinner landing page looks. Okay, so if you go to storyofyourdinner.org, you'll find a very dominant frame for the primary video, and then you'll see a consumer section and a health educator section. So this is a good landing page to send people to, because from there, I hope they find it's impossible to get lost. All right, so the video is sort of a cornerstone of the campaign. I'm going to play the video. This is the Story of Your Dinner in English. This is an invitation to consumers to see themselves in the food safety chain of prevention. The video does affect consumers' awareness of some of these basics of food safety, and particularly thermometer use, which is one of the areas, of course, we're all working hard to improve. So these are on the page for educator resources at storyofyourdinner.org. And the instructions include the deadline. I believe it's a mid-February deadline for submitting these sets if you wish to get the gift card incentive. On our website, this is where you will find To get to Story of Your Dinner from our main website, that's possible also. So in addition to the URL storyofyourdinner.org, if you go to fightback.org and you look under Food Safety Education, it is one of the campaigns listed. In addition, we've now modified our homepage that includes this middle section for Story of Your Dinner. So it's going to be accessible through is accessible now through our main website at fightback.org. Another reminder to please submit any questions because we're coming up on our question time soon here. There's so many ways you can participate, and I hate to be the person who tries to say what those are because I think you already know how you might want to participate. But we would suggest you can mention Story of Your Dinner. You could mention one of the items, or you could just use the web address throughout your planned outreach. Right. Show the video to a consumer audience and use the pre- and post-test survey instrument. We are offering an incentive, and that gives us great feedback on the effectiveness of the video. Retweet and share our social posts. They're going to be going, as Eric said, through the whole month of November, right. December. We're going to have some events. So there's a lot of activity that individual consumers can get involved with, including a Twitter party. And personalize the press Shelley, release. Yes.
One thing is, regarding the retweeting and the sharing the social posts, that right there, those simple steps there, it increases, it raises all the votes because Facebook, and as we know, they don't show posts as high as they used to unless you're paying for it, and even then they don't show it as high. Sometimes same for Twitter too. But the more people who share and retweet, the higher Facebook recognizes that this is interesting content, and the more likely they'll be sure that more and more people see it. So the more the merrier in terms of sharing that content, the more people will see it. It's a force multiplier in terms of having visibility on social media.
Oh, thank you, Eric. I'm really glad you mentioned that. And another thing is the kind of posts we'll be doing differ. So, for example, there's the great ones with just the graphics, but the video posts. So there'll be different kinds of people accessing those. Yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that. And I don't know about most people, but just to have this quality graphics for social is fantastic because it takes effort to develop those. And we, the more the merrier, and the more attention we're going to get to some of these basic food safety advice for consumers. All right. Yeah, and the press release template. So, for example, we are putting out a release to the industry press and to the consumer press. We produced a template that you can get from the educator section. Go ahead and send out your own media release or do some local media and talk about Story of Your Dinner or use these assets. That would be great, and we would love to hear about that. All right, I'm going to try this poll. I think this will work, but I don't know. Yes. Okay. Our poll is, which tool are you most likely to use from Story of Your Dinner? Please vote, and this will help us to kind of get a sense of what's your reaction upon seeing these quickly, what you most find useful. And I'd love us to get to 80% voting. So, hello out there. If you haven't voted, give us your vote. Let everybody else will get to see too what people are excited about using. And then we're going to move into questions pretty soon. So, a reminder after you take the poll, send me a question. Okay, let's have a few more votes. on which tools are you most likely to use that you've seen today. Okay, you're not gonna get us to 80%. So sad. Oh well. 76% voting. I think you like the flyers, recipes. You were on the graphics, if you were on the video, still. Nice showing. Thank you guys for that feedback. Very helpful. Eric, do you want to say something about a Twitter party? I'm inviting them, but you maybe can say again why this builds up a lot of visibility for food safety during the holidays.
Yes, and we'll be talking about this on Twitter here in the next couple of weeks, and I think there will likely be another alert sent out to BAC fighters. But on Thursday, November 9th, and we'll get the hour set here soon. In the next couple of days, we're going to have a Twitter party, and I'm sure many of you have taken part in a Twitter party or seen a Twitter party, and it's really going to be getting people connecting with consumers, answering important questions about food safety for the holidays, some of the very basic questions, again, also inspiring them for the holiday season. But the key thing is answering the questions and having conversations about food safety, and we would love if you could take part in this and be on Twitter and following the hashtag, which we'll send out in about a week with all the information. But would love if you could kind of hold that date on your calendar. We'll be having an hour-long Twitter party talking about food safety, answering questions. But would love if you could answer those questions and ask questions as well for consumers, getting them excited about the campaign and about the cooking during the holiday season and food safety during the holiday season.
Yeah, and an important thing they can do is, as you said, involve their community, invite consumers. This is really meant to be for consumers. So, if you're local public health, you might say, hey, Allegheny County Public Health, hey, join this conversation and get your questions answered about basic food safety for the holidays. Because we're going to have prizes, and it's a great thing for the individual consumer.
Yes, and it could be one of the largest conversations nationwide about food safety in the days leading up to Thanksgiving. So we'll have more information on the exact time on that and the hashtag, and hope you can help promote it and be a part of it.
Yeah. So well, let's trend. Some of you know the CDC usually does a Twitter party, an event, and they are doing one, but theirs is in December. So they don't in any way conflict, and in fact, I think what's great is this way we'll have one that's pre-Thanksgiving and then one that's pre-Christmas. So plan to be involved in both. All right, now we're going to get to questions. I'm also the question lady who has to go through the question thing. So please be patient as we look through this. Let's see. I saw one question was about how much material will be in Spanish. This is always an issue, of course, as we deal with our budgets and our development. The video, the story of your dinner 2-minute video that you saw is in Spanish and in English. So we encourage you to use that video. Hopefully you all saw that well. Like for a time my screen was black. Slides aren't showing up. I hope they did. Something happened with the video. All right. Someone asked, I've seen people use hot water to defrost frozen food, and is that safe? Using hot water is not recommended. Using cold water with the food that stays in packaging is recommended, but the water needs to be changed out. I believe it's every 30 minutes until the thawing occurs. So no, hot water is not recommended. Cold water can be used, and but then the consumer does need to tend to that and switch out the water to keep it cold. There's some information
and we address
about,
we feature that in some of our content too.
I don't know what happened. You guys kept seeing the frying pan of potatoes. Something, I'm very sorry. On my end, it wasn't that way. So sometimes it's interesting. Something happened with my trying to play that video that stuck, and even though I switched out of it, it would stay stuck for you guys. Okay. Someone's asking, please say the time again, but I'm not sure what they mean. Okay. Beth with CDC says the Twitter chat of CDC is December 6th from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. Benita says most of my clients do not Twitter or do social media. So, you know, I think, Benita, we see that too in what you all as educators most like to use, is that you're doing a lot of in-person interactions. Handouts are important to you. So that's really good to know, and it's also good that you are following. You know, you're aware of what your people need and want. As we all know, we've got to always try to stay on top of what our users want. The time of the Twitter
and that's
chat,
actually, there's actually one thing. We actually took our 11 core messages that we'll be sharing on social media and converted that into a handout. So, you know, the graphics and the language, you know, the information that we use in the handout is also, on social media will also be in a handout that is available for download.
Can someone put a message in chat? You're not seeing the frying pan anymore, are you? Hopefully you're seeing the question slide. I'm going to find out from GoToWebinar what happened there. Any other questions? No more potatoes. The potatoes were good, though. I'm so sorry you didn't get to see that video, but I don't know what happened there. Are there any questions, or even better, do you want to tell us some of what you have planned for the holidays? Because I know for some of you, you do a lot, and people would love to hear that. It would be great at some point, the health risks of microwaving when food comes in contact with plastic. We do have information about microwaving and about convenience food. We talk about microbiological contamination. That is what the partnership's work focuses on, preventable causes of foodborne illness. Things like environmental factors or chemical contaminants is not where our work is. I don't see that changing in the near term. Kathy said we did eventually get you back. Thank you, Kathy. Teresa asked, do we know what the biggest misconception is about turkey prep? I don't actually have, this would be an interesting question for the USDA Meat and Poultry Hotline people to answer, because they answer so many questions about turkey and about meat and poultry. My non-scientific response would be that a lot of people think they should rinse their whole poultry carcass, be it chicken or turkey. And I think that's a big misconception that somehow that might be a safety step, and it's not a safety step. Only cooking kills the bacteria that can cause illness. So rinsing the carcass may, I guess, may rinse off feathers or something, but it is not a safety step. Amanda asks, oh, she's left. What are the social media groups to follow? We're at @FightBack on Twitter and on Facebook. If you use your search function, you can easily find the Partnership for Food Safety Education. Kathy asked, what's the timeline for the videos and the handouts to be released? Everything is available today. Everything is on the website. And the reason we have not done the official public launch, but we always want to give you guys a week of advance, and we want to share it with you first because we know that through your efforts we will multiply the shares and the use of this material. So all of it is available today, all the videos, all the handouts. The recipes, Estelle asked, will we get some recipes early? The recipes are available in print form. Eric, maybe you could talk about the bloggers. When will the bloggers be promoting their recipes?
Their blogs go up in the first week of November. Most of them will post it November 1st, but a couple will be coming in the 1 or 2 days after that.
Okay.
And then we'll be sharing that on our social channels at strategic moments throughout the campaign. And so, if you're following our channels, it's something that you could share straight from that.
Yeah. All right. There's a great comment here, Eric, that you can speak to. Would we like to be tagged in social media shares so we can track impressions and sharing?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. The hashtag is Story of Your Dinner. Love that. Thank you.
Yes, and I probably should have played that up on a slide. The story of your dinner, and that's hashtag Story of Your Dinner. Are there any other questions or comments? We hope this has been a great way for you to focus on this content, to consider how you might use it. As I said, there is a post survey that as soon as I move, there's a survey that's going to pop up right after we close the webinar. Please respond to it. I see there's some feedback. I do apologize for the video function. I tried to use the GoToWebinar video function, and it worked for the first one and not the second, and I do apologize for that. We want your feedback, and we want to boost the outreach of this campaign. So please take that survey. I want to acknowledge our leading sponsoring partners for their support: Cargill, ConAgra, the FMI Foundation, the GMA Science and Education Foundation, NSF International, the Produce Marketing Association. We also thank our community connector donors. Their support helps make possible these kinds of events. And throughout the year, we do webinars, we do knowledge exchanges. We have some great stuff planned for 2018. So, and we thank you for coming to the events and for sharing your feedback. Thank you, and again, the post-webinar survey is going to pop up. Check out storyofyourdinner.org and use Story of Your Dinner as a hashtag through the season, and stay in touch. Watch your email box for reminders of this great material. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.